The Alliance of American Football. Where to begin? Well, for starters, welcome to Gridiron Ring right here on YouTube, a sports talk show covering football and professional wrestling. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links are in the description below. So the Alliance of American Football, AAF, a new startup football league that was founded by Charlie Ebersol and Bill Polian. Charlie Ebersol is the son of Dick Ebersol, who is still currently an executive for NBC, and he was also the former co-founder of the XFL alongside WWE chairman himself, Vince McMahon. Polian is a former general manager for the Buffalo Bills, Carolina Panthers, and Indianapolis Colts. He was also the president of the Colts during the Peyton Manning era in Indy from 1998 and 2011. So as I said, the AAF, the Alliance of American Football League, is a new startup football league that will feature 8 total inaugural teams battling it out to see who will become the first Alliance of American Football League champion at the end of April. So 8 teams in as many cities, and we got 4 teams in the East, 4 teams in the West. The Atlanta Legends, they will play at Georgia State Stadium, otherwise known as Turner Field back in the day, home of the Atlanta Braves. The Birmingham Iron, they're going to be playing football, their home games, at Historic Legion Field. The Memphis Express at the Liberty Bowl at the University of Memphis. And then the Orlando Apollos, they're going to be playing at Spectrum Stadium, home of Central Florida. Then out west, the Arizona Hotshots, they're going to be playing in Tempe at Sun Devil Stadium, home of Arizona State. The Salt Lake Stallions, they're going to be playing at Rice-Eccles Stadium on the University of Utah. The San Antonio Commanders, they're going to be playing their home ball at the Alamo Dome. And then the San Diego Fleet, they're going to be playing at the Murph. Now, San Diego County Credit Union Stadium out in San Diego, home of San Diego State, but most recently, I should say, the home to the San Diego Chargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers. So Charlie Ebersol, he's going to be the CEO. Bill Polian is the head of football. Troy Polamalu, the Steeler great, is the head of player relations. Hines Ward, another Pittsburgh Steeler great, is a player relation executive. And then Jared Allen, the former Chief, Viking, Bear, and Panther defensive lineman, is also a player relation executive. TV deals for the Alliance of American Football League. Games will be on CBS, CBS Sports Network, NFL Network, TNT, and Bleacher Report Live. With only having 8 teams in their inaugural season, there will only be 4 games a week, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday during the 10-week season. But however, there is 1 Friday night game during week 10. Now, you may be asking yourself or thinking, role-wise, what's different in the Alliance of American Football League compared to the NFL, the Canadian Football League, the former XFL, the Arena Football League, all these other football leagues. But with the NFL in general, comparing the Alliance to the NFL, Alliance Football League rules, games are going to be about 2.5 hours. There's not going to be any TV timeouts. All 8 teams, I don't care if you're Memphis, Birmingham, San Antonio, or San Diego, those 2 games, actually this weekend, I'll be live right here on YouTube doing live reactions, play-by-play, so be sure to tune in. But all 8 teams, I don't care what team you are, you must go for 2 after a touchdown. No extra points in the Alliance. No kickoffs either. All drives will start on the 25-yard line. Play clock going to be a little bit shorter, 35 seconds. Coaches will get 2 challenges, and those are going to be the only replays during the entire game. No challenges in the last 2 minutes of the first or second half. They'll come up from up above. If teams are tied at the end of regulation, 1 single overtime will be played. High school football rules for overtime, though, otherwise known as the Kansas playoff. Each team will begin at the opponent's 10-yard line and will have 4 downs to score. If the game is still tied after both possessions, the game will end in a tie. So at least it's like college. Both teams will be able to touch the ball in overtime if it goes to overtime. Playoffs, we'll have 4 teams, the top 2 from the East, the top 2 from the West. They'll meet end of April, as I said earlier, out in Las Vegas. And then we'll have the championship game between the winner of the East semi and the winner of the West semi, battling it out for the first ever, the inaugural Alliance of American Football League championship. You might also be asking yourself, well, who's coaching these teams? Who's playing on these teams? I'll start in the East first, then work my way out west. The Atlanta Legends, their head coach is Kevin Coyle. Michael Vick, yes, the Michael Vick is the offensive coordinator. Aaron Murray and Matt Sims are 2 of the quarterbacks for the Atlanta Legends. And Denard Robinson from Michigan, former Jaguar, and Akram Wadley, former Iowa Hawkeye, are the 2 running backs. The Birmingham Iron, they're coached by Tim Lewis, and Keith Price, former Washington Husky, and Blake Sims, former Alabama quarterback, will be the 2 quarterbacks for the Iron. Trent Richardson, former Alabama running back as well, former number 3 overall pick to the Cleveland Browns back in 2012, is one of the running backs, along with Ty Isaac, former Michigan back, and then Nick Novak, who has had a great NFL career, is the starting kicker for the Birmingham Iron. The Memphis Express, the Bear legend himself, the Hall of Famer, Mike Singletary, Iron Mike Singletary, is the head coach for the Memphis Express. Christian Hackenberg and Zach Mettenberger are the 2 quarterbacks, along with Brandon Silvers. Zach Stacy is one of the running backs, and then Brad Wing, former punter for the Steelers and Giants, will be handling kicking duties. The Orlando Apollos, they're coached by the old ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Garrett Gilbert and Austin Appleby at quarterback, 2 transfer quarterbacks in college. Garrett Gilbert started out at Texas, went to SMU. Austin Appleby started out at Purdue, went to Florida. Devion Smith and Akeem Hunt, the 2 running backs for the Apollos. And then out west, 4 teams out west, the Arizona Hotshots, Rick Neuheisel, former head coach of Colorado, Washington, and UCLA, will be the head coach of the Arizona Hotshots. Trevor Knight, former Oklahoma and Texas A&M quarterback, will be the quarterback. Scooby Wright at linebacker, and then Nick Folk at kicker. Salt Lake Stallions, Dennis Erickson, former head coach at Idaho, Wyoming, Washington State, the U, the Seattle Seahawks, Oregon State, San Francisco 49ers, and Arizona State will be the head coach. Austin Allen at quarterback from Arkansas, and then Matt Asiata, former Viking running back, will be the running back for Salt Lake. San Antonio Commanders, Mike Riley, former Charger, but most notably known as the Oregon State and Nebraska head coach, will be the head coach of San Antonio. Marquise Williams, former North Carolina Tar Heel quarterback, will be the quarterback, along with David Cobb, former Minnesota running back. San Diego Fleet, Mike Martz, former Ram head coach for the Fleet. And then Josh Johnson was supposed to be their starting quarterback. He was the top overall pick in the draft a couple months ago, but he was then signed by the Washington Redskins, so he is still currently in the NFL, so he will not be the quarterback for the Fleet. At this point in time, I do not know who the starting quarterback or one of the quarterbacks is for the San Diego Fleet. Gavin Escobar, former Dallas Cowboy, and then Marcus Baugh, former Ohio State tight end, will be the tight ends. 4 games this weekend. Atlanta at Orlando, and then San Diego at San Antonio, both this upcoming Saturday night, February the 9th, 2019, both on CBS. So in my area, I'm getting San Diego and San Antonio, so that's the game I'll be doing live reactions play of right here on YouTube on Saturday night, so hope to see everybody then. And then on Sunday, Memphis at Birmingham at 4 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, and then at 8 o'clock on NFL Network, Sunday, February the 10th, Salt Lake will play at Arizona, and I'll be on for Memphis and Birmingham at 4 o'clock, so I hope to see everybody bright and early Sunday afternoon. I'm going to pick Atlanta to win, San Antonio, Memphis, and give me Salt Lake City. Give me the Stallions, the Express, the Commanders, and the Legends to win in the first ever games played for the Alliance of American Football. In my opinion, football is football, so I will be watching the Alliance of American Football. I will be watching the XFL next year as well. Be sure to tune in this weekend for my live reactions play-by-play of both games between San Diego and San Antonio and Memphis and Birmingham on both Saturday and Sunday, so I hope to see everybody then. Once again, thanks for listening. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links are in the description below.